Welcome to the Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew and let's get to the show.
You can dance, you can jive, having time of love. Ooh, see Rusty on that street, digging the down clean. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I am your host, not for Swedes, but Luke Hatmaker, and I got my personal dancing queen, Rusty Buckets. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. That's why I do not sing with you like you were talking about yesterday, because I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So I'm going to hit you with vibes and dances. And speaking of, Luke, do you know how to make a Kleenex dance? You put a little boogie in it. That was a softball. I didn't even know. That's professional. You didn't even know that was coming.
No, I didn't. A little boogie.
I had a different one, but since we were on a vibe and dance, I'll save it for tomorrow.
That was great. It's a boogie. It's like a booger. For those of you not boogers, I'm a child. For those of you who can't tell, boogers make me laugh.
Boogers. We're talking about boogers. Happy birthday to Boog. Maggie's lab yesterday turned 12 years old. Yesterday's $2 Sports Show was dedicated to him, and so we'll give him what's a good birthday without a birthday week. Happy birthday again, Boog. I know you're listening while Maggie gets ready for work. Happy birthday, bud.
Happy birthday, bud. And thank you, King Meeks, dude. Thank you for hopping in with us. And you know, your counselor Jack Daniels, a good friend of mine in the past. Be easy with him. He's a cruel mistress.
He can be.
He can be. Let's jump right into it, man, because we got surprisingly, we've got a little bit of decent Grizzlies news to talk about, to jump into today. Let's talk with. How do I want to do this? Do I want to go positive then negative? Let's go positive then negative. Let's start with cool things and then
because we'll positive, negative, and then we end with a positive on Tuesdays.
Yeah, you get it. We didn't plan this, y'all. We're professionals. All right. Little things happened over the weekend. Jared Dudley and Adrian Griffin have both interviewed for Tuomas Iisalo's coaching staff. Yay! This is both of these names. I was just like so happy and just like startled at how good both these names. It's like, this is what you and I have been talking about. Yeah, Wayno. Shout out Wayno. Shout out Edward. Why not both? You and I have been talking about someone like this on this coaching staff since this show has been around.
Listen, all I've asked for is I can be in on Tuomas. You know, Wayno's been trying to coach us up on him, and I'm here for him. We're all in on him, so I'm going to be all in on him. But we were all, like I said, like get a former player like a Rajon Rondo, Damian Stoudemire. Now we've got two former players that have interviewed. Adrian Griffin, most recently being the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, which did not go super well. Hoping that turns into some scars and some learning opportunities for him if he takes this. But he is a former NBA champ on the 2019 Raptors with Marc Gasol. And the one I think I might be a bit more excited, and maybe it's just because I remember Jared Dudley playing, and Adrian Griffin was like a small part of it, and it didn't go well in Milwaukee. But Jared Dudley is kind of the lead assistant for Jason Kidd, who looks on his way out, possibly heading to New York. So that staff is going to kind of get blown up. And he's a former player, an NBA champ in the bubble, won a title with the Lakers in 2020. He is like a player's coach. Apparently, like he's kind of hard-nosed and tough, but like he runs the locker room. He's not as great of like an X's and O's kind of guy, but he's a rally the troops, get in a player's ear kind of guy, much like AC has been for us. And so I'd love to have both of them. Yeah. But I think Jared Dudley would be great because we need that kind of tough coach. But either way, this gives me a abundant amount of hope, not even an ounce of hope, an abundant amount of hope at who Tuomas could get on his staff. Look, I'm fired up about both of these cats.
Man, and you know, let's you know what? King Meeks met him at his godbrother's wedding last year. That's awesome. I hope he was nice. I think this dude, my dogs. I think Adrian Griffin does have something to prove, and this would be a good. I mean, I think I'm with you that I am. Well, yeah, and Dudley is also known for his defensive schemes, which is like, you give me a Tuomas Iisalo offensive-minded X's and O's guy, and then you pair that with a Jared Dudley who played in the NBA for 14 years. I mean, 14 years is a long time, man. That's old enough to drive. Like,
his nickname was Junkyard Dog. Like, he was an absolute tenacious defender. He gave effort. He is very much a hard-nosed kind of player, hard-nosed kind of coach. And that's what we need, some tough love alongside Tuomas's X and O's program. Like, we need somebody that can get some tough love. You know, AC's kind of been the players guy, the coach for the last few years. What has that gotten us? You know, no offense to the guy, but like, I like what we're looking at here as possible replacements.
Yeah, you mentioned AC. One thing that Wayno posits this question. I wonder if AC does stick around. If they bring in one of these guys, I would say no. Most likely.
I love AC.
Not
AC a big X's and O's guy. He's more of a culture locker room kind of guy. I like him.
This is exactly what I was about to say, by the way, Edward.
Yeah, with his son being out there, I just think it might be time for like a complete overhaul, fresh voices. You know, I know Jason March has been there forever. He might stick around just because of his hustle ties and stuff, but I don't know. It might be time to kind of get some new voices in there.
It's worth noting the only reason it appears that Jared Dudley is even available is that coaching staff is getting blown up. This isn't a situation where it's like, why is this guy being poached for a long time? No, it's just a situation where this dude is becoming available because the trash show that's happening in Dallas, you know, like I would love if we could get him from, and that's another guy, like, say what you want about Jason Kidd. The dude knows how to coach and has built a solid coaching staff. So if he's bringing that from that, I don't know. This Jared Dudley thing has me really, really, really excited.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. I think, like, again, if we're going, saying shout out Thane, that same thing I said. Like, we need fresh voices. We need guys who are going to hold these dudes accountable. And like I say at work all the time, I am known as the tree shaker at work because I am willing to go in and shake a tree. You never know what's going to fall out.
Yeah.
And so we need some tree shakers. We need some guys who are going to come in and call dudes out, hold them accountable to an excellence standard. And both of these guys, Adrian Griffin and Jared Dudley, have NBA championships on their resume. They know what it takes to be excellent. Jared as a player, Adrian Griffin as a coach, like, they know what it takes to get to that level. And I need a locker room full of those guys to unlock our guys or shake the tree and see what falls out.
And to honestly just better, like, Tuomas is going to succeed if he is paired with a bunch of guys like this.
I'm a Sasquatch looking dude. Of course I'll work with trees.
He's a lumberjack man.
That's it. This beard does not come without flannel shirts and swinging an axe.
I love it. I'm excited about this, man. Let Iisalo be the clear head, no leftover voices. Pair him with some guys that are going to bring out the best in him. You got to set him up to succeed. And
I like this because neither of these are going to be like head coach in waiting types. They're going to be very much like locked into where they're at. Sure, Jared Dudley's going to be a head coach eventually. Adrian Griffin may get another shot, but I don't think it's going to be one of those situations like last year where TJ was looking over his shoulder the whole time, knowing that Tuomas was the head coach in waiting type guy. We need a clear path. We need guys with established roles, and we need guys that are all in on winning and a standard of excellence here in Memphis.
Yep, I completely agree. Incredibly well said. I'm not going to – and as more names, those are the only two names that I have noticed. I mean, I don't know. Those are the only two names that I think have dropped. I'm not –
and there's probably been more interviews, but a wise man who may or may not be in these comments told me, like, if there's some conversations and these things are being leaked, there's some substantiation to it, right? There's these conversations have happened. There's a chance they're going to work out. Like, this is not something that you just flippantly just leak out there. There's something where there's smoke, there might be a little bit of fire.
Yep. This stuff doesn't get to us where we talk about it without there being a little bit of bit of salt to it. We'll see though. And as there's more people that we can interview, we'll talk about those as well. Got a little bit of other news that we can talk about too, because it looks like the Pistons might be interested in Santi Aldama. And this is This is per Stein. What's his name? The
Mark Stein.
Mark Stein. Excuse me. He also speculates in this, I believe, that there's a lot of teams that people are interested in how much of these people actually move and how much do they stay with their actual team remains to be seen. But if the Pistons are interested in Santi Aldama, man, sign and trade him and get me. There's a lot of dudes on this Detroit team that I really like. I'm a Santi fan, but there's a lot of dudes on this team, on this Detroit team, that I think would do really well in Memphis that would really pair well with this team as well.
Yeah, I agree. You got Beef Stew, who brings an edge and toughness. Yeah. You got Malik Beasley, who can absolutely shoot the lights out. I know he's an unrestricted free agent, so there'll have to be some sign and trade on both ends for that. There's a lot of dudes on the team that I would love to have. And could we parlay that into something a bit more, whether that's a Duren coming back to Memphis or whatever that looks like? I like the idea. And again, I'm a Santi fan. I think he fits what we're about to do. And I think there's a high, to me, and this is just this is the opinion of Rusty Wood, not Bluff City Media, anything like that. I think there's a higher chance that Santi comes back to Memphis based on what Tuomas wants to do and Santi coming up in that FIBA style basketball. But if there's a team that I'd like to make a deal with to move Santi and maybe a couple other pieces, Detroit makes that short list because they got a lot of dudes who are intriguing to me for sure.
Yep. Got a lot of dudes and a lot of dudes that fit well with us. Like, that's the thing. It's not just, it's a lot of dudes that, they got a lot of dudes, but a lot of the dudes that fit well with Memphis, which I think is important. Yeah. But I think it's like you said, I think I don't want to get too ahead of my skis because it does seem like Santi.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of guys that we can sit here on this show and speculate and say that we want to go get. But the reality is Santi fits what Tuomas likes to do offensively. And I think that there's higher chance than not that Santi is back in Beale Street Blue next year.
Yep. I think you're right. It's worth noting though, because if Detroit is one of those teams with cap space. So if they wanted to make a move, it's just,
if they wanted to inherit a Desmond Bane, even though his contract is viewed as kind of bad money across the NBA everywhere, but not Memphis based on his last couple of years, then I'd be interested in having a conversation. But the likelihood is Santi Aldama is a Memphis Grizzly next year.
Yep. This is one that I did not see. Wayno says, saw today a sign and trade Kuminga and Santi. Interesting. I
don't know that Golden State wants to get
Santi
smaller. Yeah, it's Santi being another smaller, big.
Yeah.
I don't know that Golden State's going to go for that.
If you're Golden State, I don't know why you do that, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm getting more and more excited for the offseason.
I do think we should call Malik Beasley and absolutely say, hey, you want to come play beside John Morant? That's a call that you make, because you talk about a kick out threat. If he can shoot, even he was historic, all-time top 10, performance. I think it was a top 8 3-point performance this year, all time. You talk about drive and shoot option for John Morant. Even if he's half as good or 3/4 as good next year, that's still a great season. So I would make
been getting off.
I would make Luke. I would make. You're gonna make me say Luke Kennard. I'd make Malik Beasley say no for sure.
I'm with you. Man, we've talked about a bunch of good stuff now, and now it's time to talk about maybe not bad stuff, but stuff that is going to. It's bad stuff when me and Uncle Buck talk about it because we're two uneducated guys talking about what ankle injuries mean for 7'4" people. I want to ask Dr. Buckets about this because Grizzlies PR, the text, the report they released, a lot of words to say stuff about his ankles. And then you've been reading a lot of stuff, mentioned a tightrope surgery. I wanted to ask Dr. Buckets, ask somebody that actually knows what they're talking about, what we can expect from this diagnosis about Zach Edey's ankles.
Yeah, so I was looking last night, doing some research through ChatGPT, just where they kind of compile all the articles to kind of figure out what exactly is going on with Zach Edey. So what it looks like, it's a recurring lateral ankle sprain. So a tightrope procedure where it kind of initially was released is more of a high ankle sprain where they go in with a very stiff, almost like Kevlar type braided rope that they'll twist and anchor in your lower shin bones with some metal anchors. Tua Tagovailoa had this. Cooper Kupp had this. It's more of a football player type injury surgery because of high ankle sprains. What it sounds like Zach Edey's going to have is called a Brostrom or Brostrom, Brostom, Brostrom procedure, where they're going to take some neighboring soft tissue. They're going to anchor it in where his ATFL ligament, it's a long name for the ligament that you sprain in ankle sprains. And they anchor in this tendon to make you a new ligament. So a tightrope procedure can heal relatively quickly. But when you're trying to heal a new ligament that's foreign tissue, that's in a very vulnerable spot, trying to tighten up a joint, like it could be 6 months or longer if that doesn't go well. Particularly looking at Zach Edey's size, he's 7 foot forever. He probably wears a size 39 shoe. I don't know. He's probably got a massive ankle. And so it's just going to take some time. And so either way, he's looking at a 3 to 6 month recovery. The Grizzlies have already said he's out for the start of the season, which leans me a bit more towards the Brostrom procedure, where he's going to have a new ligament put in the outside of his ankle to prevent those future recurrent ankle sprains. So he's 7 foot forever. He's a big foot. Those surgeries go well. Like you come back and you can play. It's just going to take probably a little bit longer. On an educated guess, I would say I'd look for Zach Edey to play again in December.
I mean, as an educated guess and also as a Grizzlies fan, we know how they handle these.
And that's the other thing. Kyle Korver had this kind of surgery and he was out for 4 months. Well, 4 months would be probably the minimum we'll see Zach Edey being out again, because they've already said he's going to miss the start of the season, which is in October, exactly 4 months away. If a smaller guy like Kyle Korver takes 4 months, a big guy like Zach Edey might lean more towards 6 months before he plays again.
I mean, shit. Edey's ankles are probably as wide as Korver's waist.
I mean, that's it. Yeah. The same size shorts that Kyle Korver wears around his waist is the size of Zach Edey's top of his shoe.
So you said they can recover. This is
there's two joints that are very unstable in your body. It's your shoulder and your ankle. And so they can go in and tighten up those joints through procedures like this to where you can make a full recovery, return to sport. It happens all the time. I've seen a ton of patients over the years that have had a Brostrom procedure as well as the same in their shoulder. They tend to do well. Now, none of them were like super high level athletes, but Zach Edey's going to be getting the best care in the world from the best doctors and trainers and PTs that are out there to help him get back on his feet. So I think he stands a chance to make a great recovery. It's just going to, we just got to be patient because, again, we know the Grizzlies are conservative, and this is a procedure that takes a long time to heal from. He'll be immobilized for a long time to make sure those anchors take hold, the ligament starts settling in, the tendon starts to get hardened in its place. He'll be in a boot for quite a while.
The question I think we were all asking, what do we have to do to get you on the medical staff, sir?
King Meeks, y'all don't know, but I might need that more than you think. So if the Grizzlies are listening, hire me.
Call me.
Hire Dr. Buckets.
So me and Rusty, me and Uncle Buck talked about this a little bit yesterday. And I didn't know that BC had been cleared for the start of camp. Or not the start of camp. He'd been cleared for fall ball.
Yeah, from what I've read, BC will be back to start the season. So I think what we'll see is we could probably go get a flyer in like a cheap center somewhere. But most likely scenarios, we're going to do a platoon style based on matchups, whether it's Jared at the 5 or BC at the 5, much like we've been doing like late in games.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see some of that because it's unlike my infamous co-host on my $2 Sports show. I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Zach Edey is barely a year in, not even a full year, because of his coach's malpractice last year into an NBA career. I want to see what this ankle can recover and do. I want to see him get back on his feet with some consistent minutes in an offense that makes sense for him, because if Tuomas is so high on a high pick and roll like we know he is, Zach Edey's the perfect personnel for that. Like, what more do you need than a big 7'5" Shrek looking dude out there setting picks for John Morant? So why are you trying to scrap his career already? So let's give him some time to heal. Let's be patient and get this dude right. Go get a cheap center if you need it. But I think you're going to see some type of platoon with Jared and BC.
Yep, and that's without even mentioning Bags. I mean, they could bring back Bags on a cheap deal and have like
that's the thing,
platoon option.
Bagley will have to come back on like a league minimum, which he might. I mean, him and Jared apparently cutting rap albums and stuff together, so like he likes being in Memphis and being around the dudes. So yeah, but somebody like there's going to be a Lakers or a Golden State or somebody that's in desperate need of a center that's going to throw a bag at him, and he's not going to turn it down.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you know, I didn't even think about the Lakers. It's probably who's going to do it, honestly. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good. They're
going to overpay, especially Jackson Hayes clearly out. Like, they're not bringing Jackson Hayes back. Like, I feel like the Lakers might be the ones to overpay for Bagley. But there's going to be a cheap center out there somewhere. Cornette from Boston might be a guy that we can get on the cheap. There might be, there's some other dudes out there that we'll be able to get on the cheap.
We get Larry Nance Jr. for the vet minimum, man. I think he's free agent. I like it.
I mean, do we call up and see what Andre Drummond has left in the tank? I mean, I feel like he's still floating around out there somewhere. Just kidding.
Just kidding. If this would fast forward 2 years ago, I'd be all for that. But he has left a lot to be desired.
Just kidding.
You know what? Tomorrow we might add, when we have all three of us here, we might have a cheap center conversation, because I would like to see them get a cheap center option, just because. Other than Jay Huff, we got Jay Huff on the damn roster.
A name that we can talk about tomorrow. Like, hate to get ahead of ourselves, but Brook Lopez came out yesterday, said he's probably not going to be back in Milwaukee. If you want a guy who can set picks and play defense, I mean, you probably get him real cheap.
Who's a big Shrek-looking dude like him, just saying.
Something to think about.
Yep. I thank you for explaining those surgeries to me, because I was. When I shouldn't have started Monday off with me and Uncle Buck Doom being like Bill Walton, because it's just like, no.
Especially, you got to know better, man. Like Drew has fallen hard into a hater camp on Zach Edey, and it's because of his coach. I mean, if you think back, he was the far and away front runner as Rookie of the Year when he was getting consistent minutes in November, December. And then Taylor Jenkins decided to pout for the month of January, not play him. And it wrecked his confidence and his chances. And so the guy's got talent. He's got a spot on an NBA roster. Is he going to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that plays for 20 years, wins a ton of titles? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe, probably not. But if he could be a good role player for us and be that enforcer and that big, like, what more do you need out of Zach Edey, man?
I completely agree. And there's I did not tell you we were going to talk about this. I literally just typed it out. We're not going to talk about it very long. What do you make of? I heard a rumor. We're talking about. Dude, I have heard this on multiple podcasts. Taylor Jenkins mentioned as a possible candidate for New York. I don't mean to be rude, and we're talking about coaching pettiness.
Mm-hmm.
TJ pulls that shit in New York, he will get eaten alive.
They're talking about Jason Kidd possibly taking this job. Taylor, like, it's clearly June and we're looking for content, because like, I think I have a better chance of being the New York Knicks head coach than Taylor Jenkins, because like the guy, like, you watch what he did. Hell, watch the Knicks game in Memphis that I was at. And when we didn't call a timeout, John Moran gets an 8-second and OG hits the game winner. Like, yeah, he showed you what he's capable of right there in front of your eyes. And that is the wildest thing, man. Like, it's just funny how, like, he's not really come up in any job searches like we were told he would when he got fired here from Memphis. It's clearly June. It's a name that just got thrown out there. I would be utterly shocked if TJ goes to New York.
Literally felt like everybody's been making the coaching rounds and people were like, oh shit, we forgot about Taylor Jenkins. And then they're like injecting his name into the conversation. It's quite funny to me. I literally just typed that up as you mentioned his coach. And I was like, you know what? There's two things I can't see happening in Madison Square Garden. One, him pulling that kind of crap where he doesn't play a rookie because of his pettiness. And two, when he looks up and then dejected looks down at his little laminate. That will not
Waffle
fly.
House menu.
Yep, that will not fly, man. Timothy Chalamet will come out there, rip that thing out your hand, and spike your Guy Fieri hair up. You can't be doing that.
No, man. I think Jason Kidd, Mike Malone, Budenholzer, those are the guys that, like, New York is going to hire an old proven head coach. Everybody else is pulling up assistants and stuff, like the Spurs and us and Sacramento and all these places. But I think the Knicks will be the one that hires one of the old heads.
Yep, I think you're right. We'll see. Knicks might need an ounce of hope. And speaking of an ounce of hope, we're going to take a quick break. And we will be right back to Tube a little bit right after this.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderland Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer.
And we are back. You can catch all of that. Wonderful, wonderful. Man, that commercial is wonderful. Catch it all out at Ounce of Hope, y'all. www.ounceofhope.com. Promo code Bluff City. I just used it the other day. Got some awesome stuff. I don't have it within, it's already packed. I don't have it within reaching.
Rebound capsules. And then I've got my gummies right here in front of me. Help me get through the day, man. It's good stuff. Yeah. Great products. I put in a big order. Got some more of the rebound or the recovery. Yeah, the rebound capsules. I got the Cherry Jane seltzers. I got River, Maggie's Dog, some CBD chews. Like, great company, great locations. Maggie and I already talked about how we're going to go do a farm tour again here pretty soon because it's just super cool to see. Check them out, ouncehope.com. A lot of cool stuff coming later this summer with them and us, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, commercial is awesome, man. Kenny's such a pro. I was with him yesterday filming some stuff. Like, dude is such a pro, a pro's pro when it comes to filming and angles and that kind of stuff. Like, 10 out of 10 recommend hiring Kenny Stubblefield to do your commercials.
Retweet. Back to our show, though, before we get out of here. It's Tuesday, my friend. We're going to end on a high note. We're going to talk about what we've been watching. We're tubing. Everybody's got a TV, sometimes more than one. Everybody watches stuff other than sports. There's been a lot of good sports happen. We've had some awesome baseball, awesome college baseball, awesome hockey, awesome tennis. Awesome show. I caught one episode of this new show, and I love it. And I cannot wait. I can't wait to finish it. I don't know. Stick. It's a golf show on Apple TV Plus. It's got Owen Wilson as like, dude, you would love it. He's like an ex-PGA golfer who flamed out, had like a mental breakdown on the course and like lost his mind. And now he's back he finds like a young kid and he's trying to like, he's like, I think I see it in this kid. I can make this kid great. And it's Owen Wilson, man. He's doing his thing, and he's just like, he looks like a schlubby golfer. It's just, if you like golf, man, I would highly, highly recommend it.
I'm going to check that out. That sounds really good. I love golf and watching golf shows. I watched some Happy Gilmore the other day. Like, I'm here for
And they're like on the tour too. I don't know how, I mean, it's Apple. They cranked like, they must have paid $1 bajillion because there's like golf. They're like in the universe. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I have to check that out. That's cool. Two things. I think I may have talked about this some last week, but we watched the doc. Did I talk about the Tylenol murders last week? I can't remember.
Tylenol murders?
Yeah, there's this great documentary on Netflix that Maggie and I watched. If I talked about it, you're going to hear about it again. I do have another show I can talk about. But Tylenol murders, this is documentary where you've got, back in the 80s, somebody had swapped out the medicine that was in Tylenol with cyanide and killed like 8 people in the greater Chicago area.
What?
It's a wild story, and they still don't know who did it, where they did it, how they did it, when they did it, nothing. Like, Johnson & Johnson made this big stink and said, we investigated ourselves and found that we did nothing wrong. And they closed the book on it. It was the wildest thing. If I ever get in trouble, that's what I'm going to claim. Like, I did the investigation on myself and I didn't do
it.
The judge's going to be like, I mean, hell innocent, man. What can I say? He's right.
Can you do that?
I don't know, but we're going to try it. We're not, though. We'll keep our noses clean. But
yeah.
The Tylenol Murders, great documentary on Netflix. Check it out. We also are watching House of Dragons. We're about to finish season 1.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think we've got, I understand kind of the beef with it because like it's literally 5 and 6 year jumps. And like the opening line is like, 6 years ago we did it, or it's been 6 years since. It's like, okay, you're telling us that it's been a long time since the last episode. Like all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of there's a passel of kids running around that wasn't in the last one. And like, and it's fun. Like some of them, like Viserys, he aged terribly.
Oh, Jesus.
Damon hasn't aged a single minute, and neither has Sir Christian. And it's just like, it's funny how like
whatever they have, we need what they have.
I need the fountain of youth that Damon Targaryen and Sir Kristen have been sipping on because it clearly works. But yeah, so Tylenol Murders on Netflix and House of Dragons, definitely recommend it.
Also, shout out everybody in the comments, man. I see Wayno. I've heard Department Q. Kyla just watched all this. She said it was great. It's got there's a British actor that's in everything. I want to watch this. I've heard Duster's great. It's on HBO. It's got the long-haired guy from Lost. And he's like a getaway driver. It looks cool. And Happy Gilmore 2 comes out soon, and I can't wait for that.
Yeah, me too.
Got a lot of good stuff.
I hope it's funny. I hope it's good because the first one is such a classic.
I hope it's good too, man. Shooter McGavin's like one of the best. We might just have a Happy Gilmore appreciation. Shooter! It's like one of the
best part is that was completely ad-libbed.
Dude,
it wasn't in the script. He was like, Like, I don't know where Shooter, like, they gave me no backstory. So, like, I made a putt and was like, Shooter. And he just stuck.
And it's everything. It's a good putt that he makes. We will have a whole Sandman Happy Gilmore episode at some point. But that's going to do it for our show today, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we're going to go 3 deep to talk about the finals, right? Finals is tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. Yeah.
Tomorrow night. Back in Fieldhouse. I'm excited to have basketball. I find myself getting really excited for this series. Each game is really great.
It's just good, man. Like, you can talk about big market, small market BS all you want, but this is just good hoops.
Just good hoops. Hoops head, be happy. Have a great day, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. If we can leave you with anything today, like we always do, remember these 2 things. Remember to be a little weird and remember to smile. Bye, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.